Next, let's talk about a process called caching, C-A-C-H-I-N-G. The plugin I'm recommending is WP Fastest Cache. You can find it over here on your sidebar. Just go ahead and click into it. Now, there are a bunch of well-rated caching plugins. However, this is the most user-friendly one for new WordPress users, so please use this one over WP Super Cache or W3 Total Cache. So as you can see, everything is here. All you have to do is go through and check every single thing that you want to enable, submit it, and that's it. In a nutshell, caching is what enables you to keep your server from having to process your website over and over again. So when someone types in your URL, and mine would be smallbusinesswebsite.local, your server, your web hosting company, receives a request and says, hey, this person wants to see your website. So what the server has to do is package up all of the files and all of the information associated with your website. For every image that you upload, your logo, every page of content you create, every plugin you add, your theme, any files, any code written for the website has to be gathered up with each single request. And that takes time. This is why websites can take more than 10, 20 seconds just to load a single page, and that's no good for you. They say that many users are willing to wait no more than 3 seconds. So you have 3 seconds to get your website to load before they get out of there. So to prevent this from happening, we use something called caching. And what caching does is it creates a static copy of your website, which means it turns everything into one file that your server has to send over to users. So as opposed to 30 files, that might take up to 10 seconds to submit to a user's browser screen, it just has one version of your website that it can send over. And this is especially good for business websites that don't change a lot. So if you don't blog often, if you're not constantly adding new products to a marketplace, if you're not working on tweaks or anything like that, if your website isn't changing, go ahead and enable caching. It will allow your server to work much faster and get content to people when they want it. So in terms of what you activate here, you do want to enable caching, and then just go through. You don't have to select any of these. It's just going to give you some options. Don't worry about these two. You can leave the cached version for anyone in WordPress. So when a page or post is published, meaning new content is added to your website, you do want to clear the cache. That means your server will have to package up the files the next time someone visits your website, but that's good. That's so that they can see this new content. So make sure you enable this. Now, code on your website is written by someone else. It's written by the people who designed your theme. It's written by the people who created your plugins. It's written by WordPress developers. You don't really have control over it, except you can minify it. So what this does is it just shrinks down all of the code and makes it easier for your server to handle and send over. Again, all of this is very technical and it has to do with the way servers process the data from your website, but the more you can do to reduce the load on that, the quicker you can get content to your users. So again, enable gzip compression, add some browser caching, disable emojis if you want. You're probably not using them, but just know these options are all here.